Good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. I am gonna do a different type of video today. Since I have access to my computer, I'm gonna do a reaction video. Now, this video right now is probably, I don't know if it's viral yet on his channel, but this video is a YouTuber. Uh, in a minute, you guys will see his name on the screen. This man used to work for Tesla in California, and he was recently laid off. And this man, just a quick background about this man. I mean, he's a new YouTuber, just started this channel. And what got him to start this channel is the fact that he done lost his job at Tesla. Now, as you will hear in this video, this man was making, I want to say, $120,000 a year. He had worked for Tesla for 5 years. He started as just a regular worker, and over the last 5 years, he went from being a regular employee to being a supervisor. In layman's terms, had the job for 5 years. And the reason why I'm playing this video is because uh, I think it's important that for those of you that watch my channel, I think it's important that you guys understand why it is that I say some of the things I say and I live the way I live. Now, for those of you that have been watching me for some time, you already know that at this point in my life, I do not buy houses I do not buy a house that requires me to pay a mortgage. I only buy houses to where I can purchase and pay cash. Now, I understand for most of you, it's gonna take a minute to get to that point. But understand I'm also in my mid 40s. So for those of you that are a little younger and you're watching me, if you gotta pay a mortgage to buy a house, I'm not knocking that at all. Most people do, but you know, I spent many years in West Anderson in the hood because I did not want to entertain having to pay a mortgage. Now, when I lived in West Anderson, I spent several years. Uh, well, I wasn't paying a mortgage. At that time, I purchased a home on land contract, so I was making those payments. And ever since the day I paid off that house, I promised myself to never ever again get myself in a situation where I pay a mortgage. So I don't. And another thing is, when it comes to my vehicles, I drive older vehicles. I do not buy expensive vehicles, and I will not buy a vehicle that requires me to do a car payment. I do not own any credit cards. I refuse to do credit cards. And this video is going to help you guys. Hopefully, this video will help you guys understand why I live the way I live. So, let's play the video.
Guys, my name is Nico Murillo, and I was previously a production supervisor at Tesla, and I was recently laid off on April 15th, Monday, and yeah, it was a very shocking and different layoff process than other companies. But first of all, just want to say thank you for everybody that has reached out to me on LinkedIn when I posted about my layoff.
I wish this man best of luck on this YouTube channel. Now, I think his channel is going to do very well because, he seems like a very good speaker. And he appears to be an intelligent individual. So I think his channel will do well. But I wish this man the best of luck on his channel. I really do.
Process. There was a lot of people that reached out. Let me just read in through the LinkedIn post. So on April 15th, Monday, at 4:30 a.m., I opened my laptop. Account was deactivated. I thought it was another IT problem. so I didn't really think anything of it. So in the morning, I usually commute. My commute starts around 4:30. I had to wake up at 4 o'clock because I live in the Central Valley, and then pretty much from 4:30 all the way till almost 6, I'll get to work. So it's a long commute. So you got a lot of playlists that you can play, listen to a lot of podcasts and all that. So, putting it on autopilot helps out a lot when you drive a Tesla. But at 5 o'clock in the middle of my commute,
You know, here I am complaining about driving an hour to work every day. This man drives an hour and a half to work every day. Uh, I'm willing to bet that there's a part of him that's actually relieved that he lost his job because now he doesn't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and drive an hour and a half to get to work every day. And then, of course, an hour and a half back from work once he gets off.
so I checked my emails while on autopilot. So the email read, "Unfortunately, as a result, your position has been eliminated by this restructuring." So immediately after that, I was like, is this like real? And then I texted my manager and I was like, hey, what is this? And then he texted me back, everyone got it. We'll get more info later. And that was at 5:05 a.m. So it's kind of like, I was kind of like in the dark of like, hey, what's really going on? And then by the time I parked, so 5:50 a.m. tried to badge in, and the security guard took my badge and told me I was laid off. So by 5:50, I was like in my car. Usually I get all my
All right, folks. I want y'all to take note of what this man just said. I mean, think he was working for Tesla, a big box company at this point. I mean, his supervisor wasn't even man enough to tell this man that, hey, listen, you were on the list of people that they were going to lay off. You're being laid off as of today. So meet me at such and such spot, and I'll take your badge. Or he could have told him, the security will be at such and such spot, and you can hand the badge over to the security. Or if these people really wanted to be decent, what they would have done was, they would have gave him like adequate notice, like maybe a month notice that he gonna get laid off like this. Even if he would have got a 2 week notice, that would have been better than the way they've handled the situation. I mean, at the very very least they could have done was, I mean, somebody there probably knew that he drove an hour and a half each way to work, hour and a half there, an hour and a half back. That's 3 hours round trip. So if they wanted to be even somewhat decent, what they could have done was, they could have told him the night before when he was leaving work, hey, by the way, they could have dragged him into the office, had a brief little meeting, and just told him, listen, don't come into work tomorrow. You're being laid off, whatever. And that could have saved him having to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and waste an hour and waste 3 hours of his life driving to and from work and not getting paid for that day. And plus, it would have saved him a little bit of humiliation of getting laid off.
my stuff ready of like, my backpack, my water bottle, make sure my laptop's in there, it's charged and all that. Your pregame stuff, right? Like when you play for any type of sport, you make sure all your stuff is together, right? But I was like, this is kind of fishy. Let me try to badge in real quick and then see if this thing worked. Like, cause you never know if this thing real or just a weird scam. So, I tried to badge in, and then this big 6'3", he was like 300 pounds, big, super big guy, and looked like a bouncer. And then he was like, "Hey, let me see your badge." And then he was like, "Oh yeah, you're part of the layoffs, man. Sorry." And I was like, okay. And then like, I just turned around, and then I had to walk out, and then it really like hit me when I was in my car, because I sat in disbelief, like, this is real. And then as time went on, like a few more minutes, it was like hitting me really hard. And then I got out of my car and just like I looked left and right, and I was just like, damn, this is like I spent 5 years here. Like this was a long time. And so yeah, I camped in that parking lot like for a whole year in 2023. And it was tough because the whole situation with camping in the Model Y.
All right, I'm gonna fast forward some of this. See here.
Pretty much had everything laid out here, the bed, the pillows, and all that.
I'm just fast forwarding all this stuff that I don't feel is gonna be relevant to my message.
Back, that was kind of annoying, and also had to take showers at the facility. Take, I'll go here in my car, get all my stuff, go back in the facility, shower, and trip all the way back, and that thing sucks. But it did help me get a full 7 to 7 versus take an hour and a half commute back home, which then you have to do it again to come back to work. So that's why I didn't want to do that during 2023, and I just camped in my car and said, you know what, like I don't want to do the whole driving total of 3 hours basically, because hour and a half to go from home to work, and then from work to home, that's total of like 3 hours. So I was like, just camp in the car, see how it works. And so yeah, that's what I did.
All right, folks, I kind of skipped some of that earlier, but basically what he was saying was when he first got the job, I believe, uh, just to avoid having to make that 3 hour a day commute, he simply lived out of his car in the parking lot of his job. That's basically what he was trying to tell you guys. Now, he did go into how he had everything set up in his car. But I decided to fast forward that because that's not going to be relevant to to the message I'm trying to get across. I mean, obviously, if you want to see the whole video without my commentary, you can go on his YouTube channel and watch it. I mean, his channel, his name was earlier on the video. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Maybe I'll put it in the description. That way you guys can look him up and watch and go to his channel.
I worked the alternate work schedule, which was 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. But then work required sometimes, because I was salary, it required me to stay a little bit over, so like 7 or 7:30 p.m. So I mean, by the time you're done with a work shift, you do not want to drive an hour and a half again. So ranting on, it's pretty much what happened. But yeah. So my whole thing with this happening, right? I was, just for paid transparency, I was making $120,000. If you include the stocks and all that, right? $120,000 as a production supervisor at Tesla. When I started in 2019, I was a production associate, so it was entry level. And I have a business degree from San Jose State, and I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of demoralizing, kind of like going into entry level job. Yes, it was Tesla 2019 at the time, but like I was kind of distraught because, man, I mean, you're just doing the basic minimum entry level, placing parts onto something, and that's it. Like, it wasn't very like hard to do. It was so easy that anyone can do it. So, but my mindset was like,
I'm gonna be honest with you, people. I'm not knocking those who go to college and earn a degree because there are occupations where a college degree is required. But FYI, do not go to school for a business degree. If you want to be an entrepreneur, your best bet is to just have a product or a service that you want to sell. Maybe take a couple of courses in speaking and in marketing and in sales. and then go out here and start your business and do your thing. You do not need a business degree to own a business. I mean, I don't mean no disrespect, but a business degree is not even worth the paper that it's printed on.
Like, hey, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna do my best no matter what, no matter the results, and I'm gonna do my best every single time I am in here. I'm gonna try to get my name out there. I'm gonna do my best because that is what I represent. Is like I try to do my best no matter what, and it's like sometimes I take it to a level where it's like, people are like, damn, that's different, right? Like that's the kind of energy that I provide, right? If you're gonna hire me.
You know what? I take my hat off to this man due to his positive attitude. Now I don't know how old this man is. He don't look too old. If I had to take a guess, he's probably not any older than he in his early 30s, maybe late 20s. But the way he goes and he does his best, he gives it his all. That's good. Unfortunately, when you work for these companies, they don't care. I mean, they care, but they don't care. I mean, you can give it your all you want, but whenever the company is ready to let you go, they're letting you go. And in many cases, like in his case, he didn't get no 2 week notice. He got more like a 2 second notice. I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying. He didn't get no adequate notice about losing his job. Now, his attitude of giving it his all is a good attitude. It's a good attitude to have. It's a good habit to adopt because with this kind of attitude, he can get out here and create his own business, and he can probably double, if not triple, his income. I mean, I would say for a man like him, the sky's the limit when it comes to money because his attitude seems positive, and he seems like a pretty intelligent guy. So whenever you go and you work a 9 to 5 job, the attitude that I have about working a 9 to 5 is, when I go and I put my all into my job, I do what I'm supposed to do. I learn some new stuff so I can be more valuable to the company, which means I'll get paid better. It's not about the company. It's about myself. And for those of you that got family, don't make you going into work and doing and putting your all into your job about the company. Make it about yourself. If you got children, it's about your kids. It's about your wife. It's about your family. Because with that extra money that you could potentially earn by being more of an asset to the company, that's more money that's more money that you will take home either to yourself or you will take home to your family. So, whenever you go working 9 to 5, just remember it's not about the company. It's about yourself. It's about your family.
Me, I'm gonna do my best. Whether you want me to sweep and clean, I'm gonna be the best sweeping and cleaning person there ever was, right? Kind of like a Mike Tyson attitude or a Tom Brady or kind of something like that where I want to motivate and inspire others, right? And so 2019 went into entry level job, $19 an hour. Then became a production lead a year and like some change.
I'll be right back. I got
became a team lead. That was $24 an hour, and then a year after that, becoming a team lead, I became a supervisor. Starting base salary was $85,000. So I went from hourly to salary in just 2.5 years, about 2.5. Yeah. And so my story here is like work hard, you get in the company, and like I have nothing against Tesla. It's like a very good company. I like Tesla. Like I like the car. I like the brand. I like what it stands for. So I'm not gonna bash on them at all. Like it's actually provided me a place to I have a home and all that. So yeah. Yeah, we're selling the house, sell the furniture, and then my next plan is to actually live in this car. Living in this car for about 5 years, and the reason why for that is because I'm tired of this.
All right, here's another thing. Now, notice how this man, you know, he abruptly, unexpectedly got laid off his job. Now, you don't see him crashing out and going out here and doing things that are crazy. You don't see him crashing out. What you see, I mean, for one, his attitude remains positive. And two, he also focuses on all the positive aspects of the job, like everything he got out of the job while he was working there. Like while he had the job, he was able to afford a nice home. He was able to afford that car that he's in. Now he's gonna sell his home and he's gonna live in the car. So I'm assuming that either A, he may have paid off that car at this particular point. Hopefully that's the case for his sake. Or B, he saved up enough money to where he can afford to make car payments and take care of basic essentials. And he's talking about he's gonna sell his house. Now, I don't know how long he's had his house. I don't know rather not he's got equity in his house. And again, hopefully for his sake, he's got a little bit of equity in his house and he can walk away with a little bit of extra money to live off of while he's trying to figure out what his next moves are going to be in life. So, whenever you get laid off your job, uh, it is always a good idea to take a moment, take a breather. You know, it's easier said than done, but if you ever get laid off your job, don't crash out. Don't do anything crazy. What you do instead is you do like what this man is doing. Number one, he created a YouTube channel. He decided to take his experience of being laid off and turn it into potential income, which I think in this case, he's going to be successful at it because of all the other YouTubers that are playing his video and they're incorporating this video into whatever message that they're trying to get across on their channel. So like with this man, what he's doing is he took he took this situation, turned it into a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? He turned it into a video. He created a channel out of this situation, and he's also sitting around. He's also sitting here, and he's strategizing how he's gonna potentially live the next chapter of his life. What his plans are, how he's gonna save money, how he's gonna cut back on expenses. So let's listen to see what else he's got to say.
I'm tired of this system, right? I live in California, right? Rent is super high. Mortgage to get a house, super high. So you got your housing payments above 1,000 for sure. Like no matter what, it's gonna be like 1,000 around. And then you got utilities, you got electric, you got water, you got garbage, you got Wi-Fi, you got all these type of bills, man. And then like, I remember going at line by line because my little brother was like, "Hey man, why don't we I'm just gonna live in my car." And I was like, "Hey, you ain't wrong. Like, I could. I mean, when I went through that Excel sheet because I have a budget, it was like this thing's real. Like you can literally save like almost $2,000 a month and put it towards the stock market, and in 5 years, you could be financially independent." And that's what I want to do. I'm fired up of like, hey, like getting laid off might have been the best thing that's ever happened to me because
All right. Uh, well, for starters, if I were him, I would leave California because California is way too expensive. It's way too expensive for people even like himself that were six-figure wage earners. So if I were him, this is what I would do. If I was in this situation, number one, I leave California. Number two, I would sell that Tesla and buy me a van, or buy me a van and build it out to where I can live out of it. Like put in some kind of a sink, a bed, uh, somewhere to where he can cook himself a meal, some type of a refrigerator. I mean, there's some of the bare essentials that most people have in their regular house. If I were him, I would sell that Tesla and buy a van. Or B, I would buy a Class B RV. I would do something like that if I were him. And like I said, I would leave California. I mean, the next time he go, like if he ever wants to become a homeowner again, I mean, there's like almost the whole freaking country that he can choose from, to where he can buy a house, and it would be considerably cheaper compared to California. But uh, but yeah, if I were him, at the very least, I would sell that Tesla and either purchase a van, build it out, or purchase a Class B RV.
I think that this is gonna light the fire and the spark of like, hey, like this is you gotta get out of this rat race. Like the rent is like so high. It's like, you know what? We're gonna go against the system. We're gonna go against the system, and the way you do that is, you're gonna live in your car, and then it's gonna be a hard and long fought journey. But I'm with it. I'm with it because I'm tired of it, of paying the rent and all that. And then look, I lost my job, and then I can't, the mortgage, like all that, right? Like we gotta sell the house. We have no choice, right? So it's like I don't want to be in this position again. Like it's just yeah, it sucks, right? So yeah, that's where the thing is headed. Selling the house, selling the furniture, and then live in the car for 5 years, and then I'm done. Like financially independent, right? I have enough money to.
Well, I don't know about the part where he's gonna be financially independent in 5 years. Now, maybe if his YouTube channel blows up or he comes into a crap load of money, I guess that's possible. But I think to say that he'll be financially independent in 5 years, I don't know. Now, if he were to say in 10 years, definitely. But I don't know. Maybe he's thinking that he'll be like that in 5 years because he's not going to have any major bills to pay. He's not going to have to pay a mortgage. He's not going to have to pay rent. He's not going to have to pay utilities. So, maybe depending on his money and depending on how his YouTube channel does, now that I think about it, that could be possible that in 5 years he could be financially independent. He's probably thinking he'll be financially independent in 5 years, but he'll still continue to do his YouTube channel, or maybe he might do some other stuff on the side to continue to bring in money. So that's probably, if I was a betting man, that's probably what he's thinking. Which I think is a good move and I think is a smart move. Now, me personally, like I said, I'm not living in no Tesla. I'm still in that Tesla, and I'm getting either a van or a Class B RV. But that's me, though. And I was gonna play another video for you guys on this video, but I got another video for you guys. It's about another person who's having issues at their job, and their job happens to be a government job. So I'm gonna play that video just to illustrate that just because you work for the government does not mean you're gonna be any safer necessarily than this man right here who is working for a private company. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys got something out of this video. And stories like his, unfortunately, are unraveling every day throughout the country, throughout other countries in the Western Hemisphere. And stories like this are the reasons why I live the way I live. I try to be frugal. I don't go out to eat too much. I wear old raggedy t-shirts like this. I don't buy a bunch of new clothes. I drive older cars. And at this point, I don't buy houses that require me to pay a mortgage. So as a result, I live in neighborhoods that are uh, cheaper. Now, where I live now is not what I would consider a cheap area, but it is a nice area. It's not anything fancy. It's just a nice, solid working class area where I live right now. But before I was able to live like this, like I told you guys earlier, I spent many years uh, living in the living in what they would call the hood of West Anderson, Indiana. So, all right, folks, I'm gonna catch you guys later, and I hope if you like what I'm doing here on this channel, you can give videos like this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. And on that note, you guys stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.